He is a man who can travel at the speed of light. Past, present, future, whatnot, there is nothing out of his sight. His is the credit of visiting 9 different devotees' houses on the same day at the same time and moment. It might be fascinating to know about unknown flying objects. These are called Pushpaka Vimanas in ancient Hindu scriptures, and simply to say, these Pushpaka Vimanas are very common in this man's life. Yet, he takes no credit for all these miracles and submits all this to Lord Sri Ram, which proves his complete self-surrenderance to Rama, exactly like that of Sri Hanuman. So, must you be thinking this is a great man from the ancient times? Hold on, not from the ancient times, but our times. Yes, he is a great seer and legend who was born in 1895 and lived till the end of 1970s in Andhra Pradesh, India. The name of this great sage is BURLE Ranganna Babu Gaaru. Here, I am going to tell you about his wonderful life and blissful wonders he made. Very importantly, I want to share an intriguing miracle which occurred very naturally through Ranganna Babu Gaaru. We know that Lord Hanuman showed Devi Sita and Lord Rama in his heart. In the same way, surprisingly enough, Lord Rama manifested on the chest of Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru as well. I will talk about this in detail at the end of this video. I'm sure this video will keep you elated, so wait and watch till the end. Welcome to Sai Mastapadam. This channel presents you with versatile accounts of many great Avataars, so-called seers and saints. So, if you want more information on these great sages and more videos like this, do consider subscribing the channel. Looking at this photo of Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru, it takes us to wonder whether did Sri Ramanujacharya reincarnate. Dark skin toned, his forehead, shoulders and chest bearing Urdhva Pundras, that is long tilakam that represents Vaishnava Bhakti. He wears an Indian village style dhoti and a small towel over his shoulders. He is not at all educated and talks in simple village slang Telugu. Seeing him and his simplicity, one cannot easily predict him to be an enlightened master. He used to earn his living by carrying drinking water from the river in pots to the people's household, implying his earning was very meager. These were the times when there was no proper pipeline water supply in rural India then. Yet, he had Nitya Sakshatkara of Sri Rama, that is, he enlived continuous divine presence of Lord Rama. Literally, he could talk to Lord Rama the same way as Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa talked to Ma Kali. One would wonder as to what spiritual practice he did to get into such a deep stage. But you would be amazed to believe to get into such a state, everything he did was reciting the sacred name of Lord Rama all through his life, every moment and second. Such is the greatness of Namasmarana. It is said that to this great man who arose beyond mind and its thought processes through continuous chanting of Rama's name, that is Rama Nama Japam, Lord Rama himself would take care to give him food as well. Once, when Sri Ekirala Vedavyas, an IAS officer then and a spiritual guru, visited Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru, he asked him this way, "Babu Gaaru, how do you take care of your food and where would you stay?" Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru's answer to this was, "To me who do not have a proper home or shelter, it is Lord Sri Rama who takes care of my food and everything else." Another person who accompanied Sri Ekirala Vedavyas in the visit to Sri Babu Gaaru was reluctant to believe all this. In answer to his doubt and disbelief, Sri Babu Gaaru performed an amazing miracle which gives us goosebumps. All of a sudden, Sri Babu Gaaru called out the name of the Lord very loudly, stretching out his hands. Astonishingly, hot and well-cooked chenna manifested into Babu Gaaru's hands from nowhere. And this he gave to Sri Ekirala Vedavyas and his friend to eat. This incident naturally left the person who disbelieved in utter shock and surprise. This state of Sri Babu Gaaru exactly represents a sloka in Bhagavad Gita where Bhagavan Krishna quotes in Sanskrit, "Ananyas chintayanto mam, e janah paryupasate, tesham nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, meaning in simple words, I will bear the complete welfare of the devotee who had surrendered to me with selfless love and devotion. This way, many delicious prasads given by Lord Rama would manifest into Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru's hands from nowhere. The prasadams that would manifest into his hands were of different varieties. Even kheer made from the milk of Kamadhenu and different kinds of celestial fruits would also manifest into his hands. Let me share with you a very mystical account narrated by Master Sri Acharya Ekkirala Bharadwaja Garu, who is a great spiritual guru and author of many books such as Sai Baba the Master in English, Sri Sai Leelamrutam, Sri Guru Charitra and many more in Telugu language. Master Bharadwaja says that Lord Sri Krishna and Lord Sri Rama, the two Vishnu avatars, used to play the game of dice with Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru. Unbelievable, right? But true. What all money Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru wins in the game, he would transfer into a pot and would lend some of the money from that to people who starts new ventures and businesses, and eventually these people would be super successful. It would take us to surprise to see how people respected him so profoundly. Each and every one of them were so deeply connected to Sri Babu Gaaru. Ranganna Mills, Ranganna Mines, Ranganna Binding Works, Ranganna Stores. This way, they would even name their businesses after him. Now, we are going to encounter a very fascinating account of miracles of Sri Babu Gaaru, which will keep you enthralled. So don't skip the video and watch till the end. For those who have the slightest of the doubt that did Ramayana ever happen, here is the proof. One Devulapalli Krishnamurti Garu, a staunch devotee of Sri Babu Gaaru, underwent many cosmic experiences. I will talk about a few of them here. One day in the evening, Sri Krishnamurti Garu and his wife were sitting along with Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru in a temple. Sri Babu Gaaru turned towards Mr. Krishnamurti and asked him, Lord Ramachandra Prabhu wants to give you a book and is asking whether you would like to read it. Saying so, he went and stood near the photograph of Sri Rama and stretched out his hands. All of a sudden, the whole place was illuminated with a brilliant and glorious light force. Unable to tolerate to that tremendous light, Krishnamurti's eyes shut down. A few seconds after, he slowly opened his eyes and was wonderstruck to see Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru standing amidst the brilliant radiance holding a book. Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru handed over this book to Sri Krishnamurti, and the book was very heavy, and it was 2 feet long and 1.5 feet wide with its cover shining with shimmering gold. Can you guess what the book was? Sri Ramayanam was the name written on that book. The script of the book was in Sanskrit, and the letters of every word were embedded with foils of gold. The book had an album of 300 beautifully painted pictures narrating the whole Ramayanam from Ayodhya Khanda to Uttarakhanda. Just to look at all the pictures in it itself, it took Mr. Krishnamurti till late night. Much to his excitement, Ranganna Babu Gaaru also said that Lord Sri Rama would keep reading this book often at times. Later, Sri Babu Gaaru kept the book inside the temple and locked it up. The next day early morning, when the temple lock was open, astonishingly enough, the book had been vanished. Although married since many years, Krishnamurti couple could not beget children. One day, Sri Babu Gaaru came to their house and gave them a golden bowl of kheer, saying that Lord Sri Rama asked them to drink the kheer so that the couple would be gifted with children. The golden bowl was embedded with sacred gems, and the kheer in it was made with the milk of Kamadhenu, the celestial cow, literally meaning the cow from whom all that desired is drawn, the cow of plenty. Kamadhenu is a divine bovine goddess and is closely related to the fertile Mother Earth in ancient Bharat scriptures. Blessing them, Sri Babu Gaaru said, in Treta Yuga, King Dasratha consumed the kheer as to beget children, and now in the same way, you also are blessed to drink this sacred kheer, and you will be blessed with children. Unsurprisingly, Mrs. Krishnamurti got pregnant within 2 months from then, and the golden bowl was left at their home for 2 months after that. Then one night, Sri Babu Gaaru came to their house and said that he had to return back the golden bowl to Lord Rama. Saying this, he took the bowl and went to the Markandeya temple nearby. Mr. Krishnamurti also accompanied him to the temple. There, Sri Babu Gaaru held the golden bowl high up in the sky as if giving it to someone else. Suddenly, there was a big thunder sound, and the whole area was illuminated with millions of moonlights and sparks of lights. Unable to bear this, Krishnamurti's eyes naturally shut down. When he slowly opened his eyes, he was spellbound to see Sri Babu Gaaru coming down from the space to the earth, and also he could spot a Pushpaka Vimana in the sky far above. Shaking him from his surprise, Sri Babu Gaaru called him out standing in front of him and said that there were great Yogeshwars in the Pushpaka Vimana and Lord Sri Rama asked him to send the golden bowl through them. Yes, we would have read all these kind of miracles in fairy tales. But this man Krishnamurti is so blessed to have them experienced in life. No sooner a baby boy was born to Krishnamurti couple. I will tell you an enthralling experience of this boy who had seen Lord Hanuman with his own eyes. Once when this boy was 5 years old, he was hit with typhoid fever for weeks together, and the boy got very weak. Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru was living in another town that time, and so the boy's father wrote a letter to Babu Gaaru describing the boy's condition and seeking for blessings. Guess what? The next day, the 5-year-old boy who was lying on the bed at home suddenly woke up and called out his parents and said that someone came to him and poured the holy water, the tirtham, into his throat and applied the sacred ash, the vibhuti, all over his body, circumambulated his bed and flew away into the sky. That person also had a tail, said the boy. Who would it be other than Lord Hanuman? Don't you think these are enough proofs that Sri Ramayana is not a myth, but itihasa, literally meaning thus happened. As the time passed by, Ranganna Babu Gaaru's fame grew far and wide, so much so that thousands of devotees flocked to visit him, seeking peace, guidance, and solutions to their problems. Those who come seeking solutions to their problems would write their names and addresses on bits of paper and hand over them to Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru. Interesting part is that they would not write their concerned problem over the paper. Sri Babu Gaaru would show every piece of paper to Lord Rama, get the solutions from the Lord, and the next day would mention to those concerned devotees who gave those papers with only their name and address on it. Once, one chief engineer came all the way from Bihar, knowing Babu Gaaru's fame, seeking a solution for an unresolved problem in his factory. The problem was that a very heavy machinery in the factory broke down. Many educated and talented heads tried hard to get it back to working condition, but their attempts went futile, and the whole work in the factory came to a halt due to this for almost a week. And the factory was facing a heavy loss. So, the chief engineer came to Ranganna Babu Gaaru as a last hope. Like everyone else, he also wrote his name and address on a bit of paper and gave it to Babu Gaaru. We must remember here that he didn't jot down anything regarding the factory or his problem on the paper. The next day morning, Sri Babu Gaaru called out to the chief engineer and said that you have a factory in which a heavy machinery broke down. Actually, the problem is that a heavy rigid wheel got blocked due to few small iron balls that got stuck in it. Remove the part called governor and set right the ball bearing in the machinery. Then it will start working. This is the solution Lord Rama told me to tell you. The chief engineer immediately called his team on phone and directed them to do as told by Babu Gaaru. As it was done so, immediately the machinery started working. On hearing this back from his team, the engineer was utterly amazed for Babu Gaaru's wisdom. Can you believe? Not at all educated. How could Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru come out with the terminology of the machinery and a solution to the problem? Quite naturally, he admits the credit to Lord Sri Rama. The chief engineer was overfilled with joy that he fell onto Babu Gaaru's feet with overflowing tears. In the East, many seers travel at the speed of light. Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru could travel to a far-off land few hundred kilometers away and come back to where he was, but it would not even take him a fraction of a second. It is said that he also had lunch in 3 different villages in the houses of 9 different devotees on the same day at the same time and moment. When asked about this, all that he said was, "I had lunch at only one devotee's house. It was Lord Rama who attended for lunch in the rest of the houses." Such was his simplicity and self-surrenderance. Last but not least, I will unfold the details of the miracle that I talked in the starting of the video regarding the appearance of Lord Rama on Babu Gaaru's chest. Actually, Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru did not like taking photos of him. That's why we have only 2 of his pics available. This is a rare pic of Sri Babu Gaaru taken by a photographer in which you zoom it down, you can see a vague figure of Sri Kodandarama standing with a bow and an arrow in the Urdhva Pundras on the chest of Sri Babu Gaaru. There is a story behind it. Actually, a photographer tried to take a snap of Sri Babu Gaaru without his notice. But when he went to dark room to develop the film, all of a sudden the film caught fire and burned down. Then he immediately went to Babu Gaaru and sought forgiveness and pleaded him to let him take a photo of his. This was when this photo was taken. And this was also when Lord Sri Rama made his appearance in the Urdhva Pundras on the chest of Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru. This shows the inseparable bond and association between them. This is why many devotees worship him as the avatar of Lord Hanuman. Sri Ranganna Babu Gaaru's life is filled with many hundreds of miracles where I could only detail out a few. This is it for now. Thank you for watching. Om Sai Ram. Jai Gurudeva.